Begun in the spring of 2008 on the campus of Stephen F. Austin State University, the Center for Regional Heritage Research is multidisciplinary in its focus and unites faculty in several different departments under the coordination of Dr. George Avery in an effort to expand the university's research capabilities. The departments and programs involved in the center include History, the Stone Fort Museum, Geography, Archaeology, Kinesiology, Human Sciences, Columbia Regional Geospatial Service Center, the East Texas Research Center, and Digital Projects, developer of Tides. The center, located on the ground floor of the Ferguson Liberal Arts Building, had its first opportunity to coordinate university resources during spring break earlier this year after a group of SFA faculty members rescued a collection of documents from a building in downtown Nacogdoches, last occupied by local judge Jack C. Pierce. Insects are a major cause of damage to paper documents. Therefore, we at the center turned to SFA scientists to address this issue using fumigation. Will Godwin of the SFA Biology Department fumigated the materials using an acetone gas similar to nail polish remover. The gas is lethal to insects but not harmful to people. This process was necessary before we were able to bring the collection in the center for processing. This particular collection came to us in a state of extreme disorder in which only some of the documents remained in their original file boxes. However, most of the documents were loosely strewn in weathered boxes and plastic trash bags. The reason for disarray involves the circumstances by which the center acquired the collection. In March 2008, the Perkins Building, where Judge Pierce's law firm had been located, was cleaned out for renovations preparing the building for its new owners. By accident, Carolyn Spears, curator of the Stone Fort Museum, discovered the documents scattered among other items headed for the local dump. Spears, along with Will Godwin and geography professor Dr. Jeff Roth, rescued the collection that evening from a trailer that was to be taken to the landfill the next morning. A tremendous amount of work was required to make the collection usable to researchers. One of the first steps in the archival process was to sort out which items would serve useful as research material to be included in archival holdings, as well as deciding which items were not. After establishing which documents might be useful to researchers, we addressed the other issues that posed the threat of the document's destruction. Over time, the documents had suffered not only from damage wrought by insects, but had accumulated years' worth of dust and dirt. Moisture had also contributed to the damage by causing some items to mildew. For these reasons, many items in the collection were cleaned using Apsarine brand dirt eraser sponges. Further cleaning issues involved removing insect remains as well as scraping away pieces of dry rotted rubber band residue and cleaning as many stains as possible. Another major issue in archival processing is the removal of future deterioration-causing agents. Removal of metal fasteners such as staples, paper clips, pins, and brads helps prevent additional deterioration by eliminating corrosive materials. Most of the paper in the Pierce collection, as well as folders and file boxes that originally contained the documents, was made from materials that contain acid, another major culprit responsible for deterioration. For this reason, One of the next steps in the archival process included rehousing the documents using acid-free folders and file boxes, and separating documents printed on acidic paper from other documents using acid-free sheets of plain white paper. Some of the collection also contains photographs. In preserving photographs, we were careful to prevent the transfer of oils from our skin onto the photos by wearing cotton gloves while encapsulating them in special protective plastic sleeves made of Melanex, a material similar to mylar. Besides the cleaning elements involved in the archival processing, there is the issue of establishing an order. As we mentioned earlier, some of the documents were still in the order created by the lawyer's office, and this was preserved. However, we had to establish a new order for the rest of the collection. One of the most important and difficult parts of the organization process included grouping the collection into broad series. This collection includes not only the papers of Judge Pierce, but also the papers of 2 attorneys who preceded him in this particular practice. The firm had first belonged to C.A. Hodges, who practiced there until the time of his death in 1933. At the time of Hodges' death in 1933, the firm became the sole practice of J.J. Greve, who had joined the firm under Hodges in 1918. Greve continued to practice at the firm until his death in late November of 1958, at which time Pierce, having begun with the firm earlier that year, took over the practice. Considering the nature and breadth of the collection, it became apparent that it would be necessary to break the collection into separate series corresponding to each of the 3 attorneys who practiced at the firm. Once the documents were divided into series, they were ordered chronologically, with the exception of those items that had been saved in their original order. Once the processing is completed, these documents will be housed in the special collections at the East Texas Research Center located on the 2nd floor of the Steen Library. Here the documents will be kept in an optimal temperature and humidity level to ensure their preservation. The Pierce collection is expected to be available for research in the ETRC by October 2008. The Pierce collection complements many of the ETRC's other archival holdings, which include inactive county records for Nacogdoches and 7 surrounding counties. In addition, many records in the Pierce collection deal with oil, gas, and timber leases, which supplement the ETRC's role as an official North American forest history repository. The materials such as those included in the Pierce collection are an asset to our community. Although the documents may no longer be of use in the capacity for which they were created, they can be immensely important for researching the history of our community. This collection provides a unique opportunity for a candid look into the daily lives of those who once lived in our community. Some documents include material relating to several prominent members of Nacogdoches' past, as well as many others who find their final resting place in Nacogdoches' Oak Grove Cemetery. The preservation of these pieces of our past has broad implications for a wide range of research opportunities, including environmental, economic, municipal, religious, and educational projects that will unite both university and community researchers. Processing this collection is just one of the many tasks that the Center for Regional Heritage Research has set out to accomplish in its goal of encouraging, initiating, and coordinating local heritage projects.